Coming to you from Mac Aldrich Field on this Friday afternoon, girls soccer on tap as the Somerset-Berkley Blue Raiders come to Durfee to square off against the Hilltoppers on a beautiful mid-October afternoon. Evan Massoud and Justin Arujo with you for girls soccer this afternoon, and it really it's been a struggle for the Hilltoppers, Justin. Just the one win, but it was a big 3 win, and because of that win, they are not mathematically out of a tournament berth.
Yeah, of course. They still got the 2 games coming up against Brockton. If they can get 2 wins there, they can get into this tournament. So they're not out yet, but they just need to pick up the pace here.
I mean, it's definitely an uphill climb. This is not by any stretch going to be an easy task, but I guess this is where the benefit of a 3-team league can come in and help you when your overall record isn't that great.
Yeah, of course. There's some big injuries for Durfee too, so they some of these JV players coming up, need to can make a big impact on this team. So it'll be exciting to see some of these new faces on.
Sure will, and that was something that Coach D'Souza talked to us about pregame, was that, when you lose 3 starters early in the season, to your point, I mean, that can mess up any team's, lineup, any team's, I guess you could say the gel of the team, right? It takes a lot. You got 11 players, and 3 of them's almost that's basically a quarter of the team.
Yeah, especially Jasmine Montega, their leading scorer last year, that number 10 in midfield. That's a big loss offensively for them, and I think that's why they've been having such a tough time on the offense so far. They just need to got to get some new attackers in there, try to mix things up in that front line, and hopefully things will work out for them. They'll start putting more balls in the back of the net.
The Somerset comes in very good on the season, and of course they're in the South Coast Conference, the big conference. We were just looking at that. They're 9-3-2 overall, 8-2-2 in the league. So that gives you an idea of how many conference games they have to play versus a Durfee who's only got 4, because the Big 3 is a 3-team league. So you got 2 completely different sides of the spectrum there, but Somerset really having a good season, led by Coach Casey Geronimo, who was very intense before the game, setting up some passes with her team, and fully involved in the warm-ups. It's something that I haven't seen from really many coaches at all across the area when they've come here. So she's very involved.
I think that has a lot to say about Somerset's play as a whole. I think their coach contributing so much and being so active inside the warm-up, it gets the team fired up. It gets them more excited for when the game starts, and it helps you perform better throughout the match. So I think that's why they've been doing a little bit better, so that some more activity from the coach, that motivation can really go a long way.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, and that's not to take anything away from the coaches here at Durfee or any of the coaches we've seen here in the city. Everyone's got a different style. So that's, but that was something, like I said, not something I normally have seen. She dressed. We thought she was one of the players, because she was dressed in warm-ups just like the players. So we thought she was with the players there too. Anyway, we mentioned again, this has been just a beautiful day here. We're middle of October and 57 degrees. Really, not too bad, and it's rare, but it's a Friday without any football. The football team with a bye here in week 7, and so we'll be posting on our Facebook page. Check that out to see where Durfee will be playing and when in these final couple weeks before Thanksgiving in the non-tournament bracket, as well as Diamond. We're waiting to see where Diamond will be as well, if they can indeed make the bracket, or if they will be in the non-tournament bracket, non-playoff bracket as well. So we'll have that stuff posted for you. Some good news is that the Durfee boys, they tied against New Bedford last week when we were here, and that tie earned them a spot in the tournament, and they've continued to win some games since that match as well. They still haven't picked up a W, and they got 2 big games coming up against Brockton, as does the girls, and that's kind of what we were saying. Brockton is 2-0 in the Big 3. Durfee 1-1. If Durfee can get by Brockton and beat them twice, they'll be the Big 3 champs.
Yeah, they just really, there's going to be a lot of the offense. They do have a good defense here. Their defense is very intact. They play very laid back, which is good. But it's the offense. They're going to need to score goals against Brockton. and hopefully the midfield will be able to open up Brockton's back line and they can put some balls in the back of the net.
Yeah, and I mean, the good news is that, even Brockton, none of the girls' teams here in the Big Three having good seasons with their overall records really kind of low in terms of the win totals. So it's really the Big Three is going to be the league games are going to rely, or what they're going to rely on to get into the tournament. And, Durfee does, again, they got a chance. So they're take it one game at a time. And, we said it back in the New Bedford game is that you got to take advantage of your opportunities and capitalize on them. And once again, Coach D'Souza stressed that before the game. Pass to feet. See right there, we had two girls in front. Now there's a shot on net and just missed. It went high, but there was a good shot there. A lot of room there between Amber Holt, who's in net today for Somerset.
Yeah, that was an open back line there. It seems like a lapse of concentration by Somerset. There, they left Brianna Raposo wide open there for that shot. If she can just put that couple inches low under that crossbar, that's a beautiful goal to start this game.
So the Hilltopper, that was really the first good chance for Durfee. They did have a corner kick about 5 minutes ago, but that one went wide and out of the box. Didn't end up curling back in towards the net. So that was a good chance for Durfee. This little bounce, and Holt will play it on the bounce. So again, though, mentioned the boys. Field hockey is plugging along as well. I don't think they've officially qualified, but they're very close. The girls volleyball team, I believe they may have qualified as well. And an open net. There's a collision. Ball is rolling. It's off the. Oh my goodness! And time has called. Play has been halted because of a very ugly collision here between Durfee's goalie, Anusha Lemian, and the Somerset player who was going in, as well as another Hilltopper. And this is eerily as similar as we saw last week, the collision at the start of the New Bedford game that knocked out Durfee's goalie, Zach Massa, for the boys team. This is, seriously, almost the same type of thing. Zach took the knee to the head, kind of, made his head spin a bit, I guess you could say. He wasn't knocked out, but obviously any kind of collision to the head is, you're going to be seeing stars. It wasn't good. Took him a long time to get up, and Anush getting up a little quicker here, but the Somerset player still down, and so Kelly Mahoney, our trainer, going to be making her way here shortly. I think she may be on the backfield at the moment. Now we see the golf cart coming now. She was up at the field house. Lots going on again on this Friday afternoon. And you see Coach D'Souza out there for Durfee with Somerset coach Geronimo helping out the player. That looks like number 10, Alyssa Cheatham. And she's walking off okay, so she'll have to take a breather. First of all, too, I cannot believe that ball didn't go in.
Yeah, just off the post.
That's incredible, too. I think we're going to end up having it's like there could be. Is this going to be a penalty kick here, Justin, or is it going to be a goal kick? It's right at the edge of the.
Looks like it's going to be a goal kick for Durfee here.
Yeah, so they're lucking out big time there.
Yeah, aggressive play by Noosh to come off her line, but that's what you got to do as a goalkeeper. That ball almost did go in the net, but her stepping up like that could have been an easy goal if she didn't step up.
Durfee going to get the free kick. And very lucky that that ball didn't go in, and we're lucky to see all the players up without any incident here. Did volleyball qualify? They did get it. Field hockey has not. Field hockey's in. Oh, they are in? Yeah. Okay. And we did just get word, because he's standing right next to us, so now that the injury timeout has stopped, our athletic director, Brad Buston, did confirm field hockey is in for Durfee. They have qualified, as well as volleyball has 10 wins. How about that? Girls volleyball hadn't made the tournament in years. 3 consecutive years here now that they are in the tournament, so really excited for them. And we went to Feehan last year. They did lose in the playoffs, but again, just to get there is an accomplishment. The girls program's come a long way, and that's as a young team. Last year, they had basically all starting freshmen. This year, the girls a year older and only going to get better. So very excited for Coach Bullier and the Lady Hilltoppers, as well as Coach Henrique for field hockey, and of course Coach Mello with boys soccer, and the girls here, and Coach D'Souza. They got some work to do, but again, it is not mathematically impossible where we could see the Durfee girls get in the tournament as well. So it's been a good fall, to say the least, Justin.
Yeah, yeah, it has. Very good for Durfee Athletics. Everyone's pretty much qualified. So that's very good. The girls, really the only ones left out here. Let's see. Hopefully they can turn it around now.
And ironically, getting a text message from Coach Henrique right now. She ended up getting a new car. That's why. She was talking to me about cars. Because it seems like everybody that knows me knows that it's a hobby for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like the free consultant here. I'm going to start charging, I tell you. Give me some extra cash on the side. Oh, man. Oh, good for her. Another goal kick for the Hilltopper. That's a good one, landing almost at midfield. Counting players, Justin? Does it look like there's too many?
Looks like Durfee's down. I think Caitlin Noguera is going to be coming in here either as a sub, or I think she was hurt. It looks like there's 10 men out for Durfee right now.
Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
Could be a substitution, though, or some early tactics.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're probably right. You know, the Hilltoppers, again, escaping and getting very lucky there to escape being down 1-0 after having a good chance to go up 1-0. So the first 10 minutes here, we've seen quite a bit of action here at Mac Aldridge Field. Exactly 10 minutes in the books in this first half. Good pass to the middle. That one slowed up there by the Hilltoppers. Anush didn't have to come out and make the play. Now back towards the circle, and chasing after it is Emma Rebello. Trying to push it up. Looking for Ashlyn Aguiar. And we'll have a throw in. Want to say welcome to Durfee as well to our Somerset viewers for Blue Raiders TV, Blue Raiders Sportsnet here. As here in Fall River, we always, whenever these two teams square off, we share with you folks across the river in Somerset. So welcome to the broadcast if you're just tuning in now. Somerset is in the tournament with their 9-3-2 overall record, so they will have some playoff games, hopefully multiple games for them. And now here you go.
Yep, here we go. It is going to be a substitution.
Yeah, Noguera's coming in. Looks like Abigail Long is coming out, number 11. And
right mid for right mid.
Yep.
It's actually, Noguera's a striker. They're going a little bit more attacking here, taking out a midfielder for a forward.
Well, again, with Durfee's offensive struggles, I think any kind of an edge you can get here is important, especially knowing that, this weekend, again, this is another Friday game, so if you're watching this on Fred TV, it's now beginning of the week. But over the weekend, Hilltoppers have that first Brockton game here as well. So if you want to see the results of that, check it out on check out the MIAA's website, see the Durfee schedule. You can check it out Durfee's the Durfee homepage as well at Durfee High, the Durfee website. All the games are posted there under athletics as well. So That's a good feed ahead,
Offside.
but definitely offside by a lot. Brooke Sullivan, the Lone Ranger down there, and there was really nobody near her. So definitely caught offsides. And now we're going to have a free kick from that spot for the Hilltoppers. Good kick coming towards the middle on one bounce. Goes over the heads of both players for Durfee and Somerset. Far sidelines, kept in. Play broken up. That was Isabel Charest, number 5. She ends up losing it here. Now headed towards the box on the near side here. And it's going out of play. Durfee will throw.
They don't look too bad here so far on the back line. Very much intact for Durfee. They've been able to hold off this Blue Raiders defense very well here at the start of this game.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, we're about 15 minutes in, and play has really kind of been spread out on both sides. You haven't really seen, you know, one side or the other, you know, dominating. It's really been pretty evenly split, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's been very good. The one thing Durfee should work on is transitioning in the middle of the park. They're just having a hard time transitioning from defense to offense, and without that, you can't really create offense. You can definitely see where the troubles for Coach D'Souza are right now. You just got to work on that transitioning game. But for Somerset, they've been getting the ball through. They just got to get chances close to the 6-yard box. They've been playing a lot out wide. They need to narrow their play in more. Big chance here for Durfee.
Big chance, but the kick was just a little too far ahead, trying to set up. It looked like that was number 13. That looked like Miss Dorado was trying to set that up, and she led her teammate just a little bit too far. Noguera over there. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Lockhart, rather. Lockhart. Led Lockhart too far. But that was a good set. And to your point, maybe that's why they brought in Noguera, the forward.
Yeah.
To try to get a little more out of the offense. And we'll see if it pays off here. You know, the New Bedford game, Durfee controlled the pace of play in that one, and they ended up losing 2-0. I mean, like, 90% of the game was played in New Bedford's side of the field.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of why I mentioned, like, here you have play has been pretty evenly split between both sides, but it wasn't the case in that New Bedford game, and Durfee unfortunately came out on the short end of that one back in the beginning of September or middle of September. So it's to me, I actually like seeing, you know, the spread here because it's keeping both sides of the ball fresh. You're giving your defense some chances. You're giving the offense a couple chances. It's just that transition that you mentioned. So we're in the timeout, though, here. You see Durfee in the huddle.
Yeah, but they look good so far, Durfee. I'm very happy with their play defensively. That back line very much intact. They just got to work on getting the ball forward, and if they can do that, they can get a good result out of this game, I believe.
All right, well, here at the timeout, we're going to take a timeout. The Reverend Lawrence Guns for Groceries here as we dip into the Fall River government side of things here. We produced a PSA for that. Some of our students went to UMass Dartmouth to hear the Parkland students from Florida speak this past week, and we produced a PSA about public safety and to try to promote this program as well. So we're going to step aside. We'll be back right after this.
Reverend Lawrence was a great person to follow because of the love he had for his city, because of the respect he had for all.
And a police officer or a person working in a convenience store doesn't know if it's a real gun, a working gun, a pellet gun. So it's important if we have unwanted guns that people have no interest in taking care of anymore, then we get them off the street.
I think it's important to have a safe city, especially when you're in school, because for some people to not feel safe coming to school is an issue, especially when we need to be educated.
Kids are going to make those decisions. You just want to put them in an environment where you offer them good decisions to make and also really, really good role models.
Everything that you do as a person, you should be thinking about the community at large and somebody else. And sometimes I think that's forgotten. not by law.
And I think we really need to bring some more positivity into each other's lives so we can all bring each other up and rise up instead of bringing each other down all the time.
I learned from a lot of great people in my life throughout the years how important to be kind to one another, important to help somebody in the neighborhood or anybody throughout the city.
If you've done any research with gang affiliations, it's more because the kids feel like, hey, they're part of a family, they're part of a community, somebody's there to support me. With football and with sports in general, you have that sense of community, you have that sense of belonging.
We've had over 3,000 guns in the past 20-something years that we've been doing this program, and we like to get 4,000, 5,000, all of them off the street.
And here we are, New Bedford, geez. Somerset. We're talking a lot of big three here, Justin.
Yep.
Somerset with the throw in. That was Brielle Tripp who threw it in. It comes out of bounds, and she'll do it again. So that PSA, just want to, big shout out, a thank you to those who helped out, Pamela Martin and myself, with this PSA, the Durfee students, some of the city advocates there, Natalie Mello, Jason Springer, who's, he's a football coach, but he's also an advocate for, a motivational speaker. He helps out the youth a lot at recreation. Really good guy. He actually graduated with me from here at Durfee back in '07, so we've known each other a long time. He was in my first ever class here at Durfee. We were in the same class, Algebra 1 with Mr. Green, and it was first block. So he was, two of us were in the first class together, going back in the fall of '03. I can't believe it's been like 15 years since we started here. But yeah, Jay, and then of course, the chief of police and the fire chief, so Chief Dupere for the police department and Chief Lynch of the fire department, always willing to make time for us. So we really appreciate everybody who helped us out with that. I mean, Reverend Lawrence, we lost him here in the city recently due to a very brief illness, and he was a good guy. He did so much for the city, and he will be very much missed. But, his legacy will go on thanks to, events like this that he always got behind, and, some of the charitable things that he did that his name is, attached to. So Godspeed to Reverend Lawrence, and, again, that event will be taking place, you saw. So help spread the word on that, and let's get the guns off the streets here. If, these are more for guns that say, like, they're used, or that like might have been, say, if passed down from generations from years ago, not necessarily for people who are licensed to carry and anything like that. That's a whole other story. That's really what these main things, this event is for. So it's a public safety thing, and we're happy to help out the cause there. So, and that PSA is still running on FRG TV, our sister station. Sent towards the box, played by Holt. Kick not going too far. There is a bit of a breeze, kind of blowing across the field where the ball went, so didn't get too close to midfield, though. Kind of a short kick for Holt. Nice job coming in there for the Hilltoppers. Good pass to feet. Something else that Coach D'Souza wanted to see, passing to feet, controlling the ball, not just sending it down the field and hoping someone is there. Motivated passes that have a purpose.
Yeah, but it's all about passing with a purpose here. You got to find the feet of the other players. That's what's going to help you transition throughout the game, is when you can find the feet of your teammates. It'll make things a lot easier for them.
Playing at the sidelines, still inbounds, kept in by Miss Dorado. Trying to center, she finds a Blue Raider standing right there. Is going to kick it up the field. Brooke Sullivan goes down. Little collision there. Looks like she might have got hit in the chest. And Bailey Smith She went down too, so we can check on both players here. Everybody's okay. Justin, you follow baseball at all?
Slightly. I know the Red Sox just went to the World Series last night.
I was going to say, there you go. How about that, huh?
Yeah, big win for the city of Boston there to go back to a World Series.
I mean, you know, admittedly, I was very nervous about Houston, more so than the Yankees. I knew we'd beat the Yankees, but Houston, we just didn't do that well against, as Holt makes the stop on the hop. We didn't do too well against Houston in the regular season. I mean, I know the playoffs are a different story, but when you consider Chris Sale, you know, not pitching and not right, David Price, not a good Game 2 start, and somehow you go down to Houston tied 1-1 when it could have easily been down 0-2, and then you take 3 in a row from Houston on their home field. I mean, it's unbelievable. And David Price, you know, good for him. I haven't been the biggest fan, and that goes back to even, you know, it goes back to when he was even with Tampa. I just was never a David Price fan, and maybe part of it was that it bothered me that the Sox shelled out all that money for him when all they needed to do was re-sign John Lester in the same offseason. So, you know, that alone left kind of a sour taste in my mouth. So, you know, I already went into it kind of negatively, like, geez, they're going to pay Price, who can't win in the postseason, when you had to prove an ace on your team that you just had to re-sign. Anyway, that's history. David Price, we're happy for you. I'm glad he won last night.
Well, that's a good ball.
It is a good ball. It was a good shot on net, right through everyone. Found a little lane, and Holt makes a stop. We're seeing Durfee get a few more shots on net here as we cross the halfway mark of this first half. Evan Massoud and Justin Arruja with you on Fred TV here in Fall River, and if you're watching in Somerset, Blue Raiders Network, the sports network, the high school here, Blue Raiders TV. But yeah, you know, I was just amazed. I mean, winning Game 4 was the big one to win. And that game, that 5-hour game Wednesday, was just unbelievable. I stayed up for the whole thing, and it was just, I couldn't not watch it. It was just back and forth the whole game. Every inning, it was like, okay, who's gonna go deep now, or who's gonna go score a couple runs now? It was a crazy back and forth game. It was like 5 hours long. And for Durfee to win, for the Red Sox to win that game, as Durfee's going to get the corner kick, for the Red Sox to win that game, I mean, they weren't going to lose 3 in a row.
No.
They weren't. And they just ended up closing it out right there in Houston, which just made it that much sweeter, dethroning the champs on their home field. So, World Series, Game 1, Tuesday from Fenway. And, boy, I'll tell you, I mean, I have respect for the Dodgers. I have respect for the Brewers. But I don't know how either of those teams could beat the Red Sox and force Boston to lose 4 out of 7 games. They've already won 7 out of 9 against 2 100-game winners in the American League, where the pitcher doesn't bat ninth. You know, I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I think it's Boston's year. And you know what? My curse is going to get broken too, because I've been to a game every single year since 2003, with the exception of 3 seasons, and that was 04, 07, and 13. And we know that they won in all 3 of those seasons. So my curse, if you will, it's going to stop, because I've been to a couple games this season, and we got to put an end to that too. They're going to win it. They're going to win it.
I think so.
Well, at least I hope so, I'll tell you. Jake Fitzgerald, our cameraman, chiming in with his 2 cents, of course, how he felt confident before I explained the Evan curse.
Curses are big in Boston.
Curses are big in Boston, yeah. Well, this one isn't an 86-year one, I assure you. I'm no Bambino, and I never played, and I never got traded. Corner kick for Somerset. Played in the box, still on the ground, sent back towards the corner. Kept in nicely there by Macy Paquin. Good play there by Anusha Lemian, going up the ladder to swat it away. And we're back towards midfield, ball coming back here. So well done.
Offside.
Yep, offside is right. Good call there. You hear the band in the background too. Football's practicing behind us, and the band getting in a few tunes, staying fresh in this off week for football.
What's that? That's what she told Maddie. She eats a lot. Right? And no, she loves it.
Kicked out of play, and Durfee will throw in from pretty decent spot down the field in Somerset's territory. Madison Bullier will throw. Coming back the other way now. Somerset with some help. That one going to roll to the sidelines. Nice job there from Bullier to let it go, and then she'll throw in. Ooh, kind of a late whistle. I thought she played that right on the line there, Justin.
Yeah, I thought that was a close one. Well, it goes in Durfee's favor here. They got the throw in.
They did. That was maybe a little bit of a home call. We know Somerset got quite a few of those in football on opening day, so I guess it's all relative. That's another story. Jake was there with me for that one. Nice catch there from Coach D'Souza.
Still very impressed by this back line. I can't believe they've been almost done with this half, and they've done an amazing job going through Somerset's transitions and defending corner kicks and defending the box. Great job by the keeper and the back line so far. They've done an excellent job.
Yeah, Nushalemian with the scoop there, and she'll drop kick it away. Good strong kick. Gonna land past the 50. Outstanding foot race to the ball. 4 players on their way. Comes back. Somerset trying to get through, and really nice moves there from Aguiar. This one's going to go to the corner, and it is kept in and then cleared out of play. It'll force a throw in from basically the corner. Abigail Shea is over there. A lot of moving pieces here. Everybody trying to get there, find good positioning. Bullier playing it off her head, then off the body. Now it goes out of play, and she's going to throw in. The Hilltoppers, for the moment, stymie another chance for the Blue Raiders. And we'll go back the other way now as Jensen Riley got completely blocked right there. Played by Tripp on the ground. Coming back towards the sidelines. Not spreading out that well. It's interesting, when they get to this sideline, it seems to always happen, not so much on the far. Is there a method? I mean, you want to throw down the field, right, Justin? But why always play the sidelines where you can't really separate? That's something just watching the game, that's something I've never really kind of understood. Is it just the 50-50 hope that it goes off the opponent and you just move down the field that way?
A lot of it is just like it's just a lot of throwing distance. It's definitely hard to throw straight than down the line. Down the line's an easier throw, and you can head it like that. You can make a play like that and try to set it up wide, which is what Somerset favors to do, as we've seen on match, like to play it out wide and cross it in.
Sure.
But usually you only throw it really down the middle when you're close to the box. You can throw it into the box, try to get ahead in it.
Yeah.
But it's usually just pretty uniform to throw it down the line at any level, not just high school. It's just pretty uniform to throw it down the line.
No, exactly. I mean, and that's what we've always seen, and that's kind of, I assumed it was just because you want to move the ball down the field. But, you know, what tends to happen more often than not, to what I was saying, is just it ball ends up just playing the line and goes out again, and you just don't, play gets stopped. I guess that's kind of the question is, I don't know. I would think that maybe try throwing it towards the middle might keep play moving a little better, but I see your point. We're coming up on the final 10 minutes here of this first half. Still scoreless at Durfee High School. 0-0 the score with 10 minutes to play. And again, yes, Somerset has been held scoreless thanks to the Hilltoppers' defense. They've done a nice job. Defense has never always been the problem. We've said that. It's really Durfee's offense that's struggled tremendously going back to the end of last season. The defense has always played solid. You don't really see Durfee lose by a blowout. It's not something that's pretty common. It's really a rare occurrence.
Yeah, I know that back line is very, very well organized. They seem to have everything put together. Now you can see the system. Looks like they play a 4-4-2 formation. 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, 2 forwards. But they have some pivot midfielders that come back to play some CDM, some central defending midfield. So they have some pivot midfielders, which only adds to the strength of the back line.
Lockhart trying to get some penetration. She could not. It was kicked back by the Blue Raiders. Now again a chance in the box, sent towards the corner of the net, and it's just wide to the right.
And it's chances like those that Durfee should capitalize on. That was a very close call. A little bit more swerve and dip on that, and that thing's going bottom, right into the bottom right.
Catherine Callahan took a shot through the traffic and almost got it in there for a late score here in the first half. That's the best chance Durfee's had in probably about 15 minutes. Lockhart gets beat. Coming back this way, Bullier going to protect. Watch it go out of play. And now she'll throw in a good attempt by Rebello, who was right behind her, to try to stick the foot in there and maybe jar it loose, and now we'll have a free kick for Somerset. I'll tell you, that's one thing we haven't seen a lot of is the whistles have been pretty quiet today, which personally I always like. Keep the play going. Let the kids play. And we haven't seen too many fouls and free kicks. It's been a pretty fluid game here.
Yep, and that was the first handball of the match. We only had 2 or 3 offsides previously, so, and I don't even, there might have been 1 foul this half, so it's been very organized. Both teams are playing organized, and that's what happens. It's a very fluid game when you play organized.
And we got a Blue Raider down. We're going to end up with a whistle here. And that's Kelly's cue to get out with the golf cart. Trainer Kelly Mahoney. Oh, maybe she's going to take a detour. Not sure. And looks like we're... So the quick injury timeout. Hilltoppers are going to get a free kick out of it.
Looks like they're going deep here. They're pushing people forward.
Yeah. And a quick sub here. Oh, well, actually, I think it was who's coming off there, Ashlyn Aguirre.
I believe that's the injured player.
Yeah, she's going to come off.
Injury timeout.
Yep, the clock was stopped. Now rolling again at the sound of the whistle. It looks like they were trying to go deep, but didn't get much air under it, so kind of a line drive kick that was sent backwards towards midfield. Now the Hilltoppers will throw in.
Oh, good move there, good cutback.
Really good move, and now Durfee quick to come back and slow play up. Nice job by Trinity Afonso to kind of break up that burst of momentum for the Blue Raiders. And out of play. No one working the sidelines here today. chasing after balls. Last Friday, we had like four of the boys. 4 boys chasing down the balls for the boys game, but today, not much help along the sidelines for the girls.
Yeah, lots of confusion last week. There was 3 or 4 balls being thrown on the field at one time.
That's right.
There's a lot of miscues. So in a good way, I think this is good to keep the game more fluid here.
Yeah, no, that's right, because you ran camera for us last week, and you're right. There was one point, I think it was supposed to be a goal kick or something, and we had at least 3 balls come onto the field.
At the worst time, too. It was right in the last minutes of the game that they could have been a game-winning goal. And so maybe it was a little bit of time-wasting tactic that they had planned. I don't know what was going on.
Oh, boy. We're speculating now. We'll call it Ballgate.
The Ballgate.
Somerset going to throw in. Abigail Shea will do the honors down the sidelines. Madison Boulier puts the foot down, out of play, and now she'll get to throw in. 5 minutes to play in the half. Oh, Somerset with the ball. Catherine Callahan turning around on the ground towards Lockhart at close to midfield. She loses it. Gajewski with it, now sent it up the field. That was Paquin who tried to get it towards one of her forwards, but the Hilltoppers defense cleared it out. A couple clouds rolling in. It lost the sun for a bit here. One thing we're starting to see is Somerset, their speed, they're getting a little bit of separation here off of the defense. Nice redirect there from Boulier.
Oh.
And no whistles.
Yeah, that's a questionable one there.
Yeah.
That was off the ball. She was not on the ball at the time of the foul either. That was a little bit of...
No reaction from Coach Geronimo, but I thought for sure we were going to see a free kick there.
I think that was in the box too. That would have been a penalty.
Yeah.
She blew it. That was in the box.
Yeah, very surprised.
Good punt.
Oh, another collision there. Looks like they hit heads. Lifted in the air. Ball still in play.
See if she cuts back.
Oh. I think she might have hit it off of number 7, or is it going to be a goal kick?
Let's see. Yep, it's a goal kick. They're calling it. Tough one. I would have cut it back and tried to put it in weak foot, but, you know, it can be tough. That can be a tough play in close quarters like that to make the cutback.
So we'll have a goal kick here as we come up on the final 3 minutes of this first half. Out of play, and we'll throw in again. Boulier working the sidelines. She's been busy here in this first half. A lot of throw-ins. And I would imagine if that being the case here is when we switch sides, we'll see more play on the far side of the field.
Yeah, you can tell Somerset definitely favors this side of this right side of the pitch wide. They like to play it wide on this right side.
Tell you, kind of surprising. I'm not sure if nobody got the memo, but it seems like there's more Somerset fans across the way than there are Durfee fans here on this side, which is really not normally the case, and particularly for a Friday. To not have a good contingency of some of the home fans here. A couple parents, but that's about it. None of the student fan, showing up here either. Kind of just a little bit surprising.
A little too cold for the 6-man today.
Well, maybe, but if they think this is cold, then they're not going to show up for November football. Because let me tell you, I've done enough, pre-Thanksgiving football games and up on the roof, and my God, it's awful. It really is. This year we've had so much rain this fall. I mean, we've had some nice days too, but it seems like whenever the games we're planning to cover, those days it seems to rain. So we've kind of set up shop here in the press box, and even the football games I've done from inside, and it's obviously it's better than being upstairs in the wind. It's a better angle, up on the roof, but more controlled in here, and just a little warmer. Just a little warmer. I got to remember to steal the space heater from in here if it still works. It's like probably older than the school is. It's down on the ground right now, but if it still works, I'm stealing that thing to take to New Bedford for Thanksgiving morning. That New Bedford press box, because they still use the old stadium for football. Why they spent millions on brand new stadium like we have here and they don't use it, it's beyond me. I still haven't been given a valid reason that I buy, but they use the old stadium still for football. And that old press box, wooden press box, it is always freezing in there, and it just doesn't warm up with the sun hitting it. At least like when we walked in here with the roof closed and the doors closed and the windows closed as the first half wraps up. This press box gets warm. It's metal, so the sun warms it up. But in New Bedford, I'll tell you, we freeze on Thanksgiving inside. And there are baseboards, too. They don't do anything to help you out. So we'll have to bring that with us for sure. Hey, one half in the books, and I'd say it's a win for the Hilltoppers to keep the Blue Raiders scoreless after 40 minutes of play, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's been a very good half. I think this is definitely a W. This first half was definitely a win for the Hilltoppers.
All right, we're going to step aside for a short break here, and we got another PSA to show you that we produced for our sister station, Fall River Government Television. We all know the National Mall down in Washington, D.C., with all the monuments and memorials. It's really quite a spectacle. I actually, believe it or not, had never been until 2017, and I can't wait to go back because you can't see it all in one trip. And one thing that we did see was the Vietnam Memorial Wall. And here in Fall River, we honor our veterans, both those who are with us and those who lost their lives in battle. We have so many memorials here in the city. And we will be getting our own Vietnam Memorial here in Fall River for Bicentennial Park. It's going to be an 80% scale size wall, so it's going to be quite large. And so we produced a PSA to help out the veterans group, the Vietnam veterans who are pushing this cause along to get the wall built. So take a look at that, and we'll be back with the second half after that.
Honor, courage, sacrifice, pride, our city. Fall River has traditionally been in the forefront of honoring our nation's soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen. Vietnam veterans took the initiative to secure rights to an 80% size replica of the Healing Wall for Veterans Bicentennial Park. The names of over 58,000 fallen heroes will be engraved on the 360-foot-long replica wall. 100% of the money raised benefits the building of our Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Fall River. Help build our wall, which is scheduled to open in 2020. The meaning, the spirit, and the value of the wall is everyone's. Be part of this exceptional, once-in-a-lifetime project. To make a donation, please visit VietnamMemorialWall.org or connect with us at Facebook.com.
Okay, second half about to begin here at Mac Aldrich Field. Evan Massoud and Justin Arujo with you on Fred TV and across the way in Somerset for you watching on Blue Raiders TV. Thrilled that you're along with us as well. Girls soccer here between the Hilltoppers and the Blue Raiders, and it's a scoreless game. Scoreless game through 40 minutes of play. So, Justin, we were talking in the first half about Durfee having to capitalize on opportunities, and they had a couple good chances, as did Somerset. Both teams really spreading the field well and trying to push the other side.
Yeah, definitely some good chances. They've been looking good on both sides of the field. I like to see a little bit more of a press up front. I think they should try to attack a little bit more, send more numbers forward. They only got 2 going forward right now, but that's something they can do later on in the game where they get a little bit more desperate for a goal.
And we see the shadows. We just were on the right side of the field. We switch sides here. So again, Durfee in the black, Somerset in all white. Anu Shalimian makes the play in net for Durfee. So Somerset shooting right to left, Durfee left to right now. And the shadows starting to creep in over as the library and this north side of Durfee High School casting its shadow over the box on the right side of the field. I wonder, does that make it more difficult coming in when you're trying to track the ball?
Well,
as a goalie,
for Somerset's keeper, it's gonna be easier learn the shape. But for Anoush, you can already see her hands on her head. It's gonna be hard for her to see. That sun's gonna be, now that it's low enough to the ground, it's gonna be hitting her right in the eyes. She's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, because I mean, I had sunglasses on, and I had trouble spotting Coach earlier when we were walking down the field to talk to her before the game. It's only gotten worse, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah, now the sun's gone lower.
So advantage Somerset in that department, we'll say. Now, that's one thing with the field the way it used to be. You didn't have the sun as much of a problem, I don't think, because of where the sun is right now. The field used to be.
It's difficult for her. She's already having a hard time spotting the ball.
Yeah. I don't know if you were old enough to remember. Do you recall how the stadium used to be set up here?
I actually don't. All my times coming here, it's always been this turf.
Yeah. So this stadium was put in during my senior year here, so 06, 07. And the old stadium, there was only one field. And that's part of why I think things were aligned this way. They were able to put the practice field behind, so you ended up gaining 2 different fields, But the field used to be opposite of this. Mm-hmm. So we're looking down the field right at the 50, and we're looking towards the field house. That used to be the length of the field. Mm-hmm. So where we're standing right now was probably close to the far end zone. So we're almost in where the old end zone used to be. I'd say that's a pretty good estimate. Jake is shaking his head yes. He remembers, right? Because the entrance to the stadium was actually right along where the field house wall is, where the dirt road wraps around and the football players come out. The entrance used to be right there, and now it's moved down where the bell tower is. So they changed that around too when this was built. So, and then you had the giant bleacher. It was very similar setup to basically to New Bedford's old stadium, because again, everything built around the same time frame and built the same way back then. So, and I do remember that old stadium. That's when graduation was held outside too. There were way more seats for the number of people that come to graduation, and they had real grass. So you didn't have high heels and chairs that could hurt the field turf here. And a corner kick for the Hilltoppers that didn't happen, and a whistle. Yeah, the corner kick didn't pan out for the Hilltoppers, and now the whistle's going to give a free kick to Somerset.
Props to the ref for not giving a yellow card. That was easily a yellow card offense.
Yeah, again, the officials have been pretty
consistent.
They've been consistent. They've been under control, and I mean, for the most part, play has been under control as well. So. We mentioned with the boys game last week, good setup. Oh, it's off. Looks like it was off the toes. Didn't really get a good plant on that. It just kind of popped up. But mentioned with the boys is that, they have 2 red cards and you can't get 3, or this fabulous season for them will be down the drain.
Yep.
And with the Brockton games coming up, you better hope that they play disciplined and keep their mouths shut.
Yeah.
Seriously, no chirping, nothing stupid, because Can you imagine having a season with, like they're having, where they haven't lost a game, already made the playoffs, and then have, end up getting a third red card at some point and then not make the tournament because of that? That would be really very disheartening.
Yeah, it'd be a waste of a season. All that hard work goes to waste over silliness.
So we hope, for everyone's sake, that these last 2 games of the season, especially again with the big rivalry games coming up against Brockton, that'll determine who's going to win the Big 3. That the boys can kind of play within themselves and just focus on winning, and nothing else.
No, they're playing right now, but they're only playing 9-on-9. No, football's right there. They're on the baseball field.
You haven't. Can I plug my information? I'm just gonna get it back to.
Somerset's still going with that wide approach. You can see they're still trying to cross the ball in wide. Durfee sending extra defenders over there.
Yeah, and a nice job by Alemian to come out and make the play on that. She had a lot of bodies around her. Kicked up ahead. Abby Callahan chasing it. I'm sorry, Abigail Long, rather. Pardon me. Abigail Long was chasing it down, and Durfee will get the throw in. Hannah Alexander, good throw in. Strong throw in for her towards the box. Yeah, the band is still playing. They've been out there for over an hour playing here. Going through the whole library of songs, apparently.
You can tell that they're going outside too much. Durfee defenders now expecting that ball to go out there. They're picking them off too easily. Should change. I would recommend a change in tactics here. Maybe try to reverse, go down the other side, or just go down the middle like they're trying to do here.
The Somerset you're referring to, of course.
Yeah, Somerset, of course.
Mm-hmm. Out on the goal line, and it'll be a goal kick. Well, both teams have definitely had their opportunities in this one to score, and both sides have not been able to find the back of the net, however. So still scoreless here as we coming up on the 30-minute mark for the second half, about 10 minutes in already. And still nothing the score. Somerset with 2 ties already on the season. Durfee, though, with none. And Coach D'Souza telling us they are 1-12. So that one goes sailing wide and over the crossbar.
O'Gara's going to come in here again. Going to try to press. Jensen Riley coming out.
No, I don't want to see that.
Yep, going to get that extra offensive weapon in there. Now, the Blue Raiders doing a nice job, though, with their forwards really kind of pressing the ball a little bit, because play, for the most part, has been down on this end of the field here in the second half in these first 10 minutes. Oh, wow, almost a chance there for Brooke Sullivan, and it goes in. Just when I said that Somerset was pushing the ball and pressing a bit here to try to get a goal. Play's been on that side of the field. They do strike first here.
Yeah, a little miscommunication in the back line. The turnover turns costly there. But right in the top corner, though, great shot.
I believe that was number 15, Caroline Gajewski, with the goal for Somerset. So 1-0. A 1-0 Somerset. 31 minutes and 5 seconds still to play. So Durfee still plenty of time for them to try to get a goal here, but now trailing 1-0. So they'll play from behind. My, oh my, just marching right in there is Macy Paquin. Nobody wanted to go and challenge her.
Yeah, a little too laid back there. They should have pressed up a little bit. They're playing a little too relaxed now.
Seriously, I think that's probably the first time all game that we saw the Hilltoppers defense just kind of sit back and wait. Has not been the case throughout this game, so very surprising to see that.
Yeah, it's typical to see that after a goal. Little confusion in the back line. They're probably a little rattled up after a goal like that goes in. As a defender in hockey myself, I know when a turnover gets converted to a goal, it can be very difficult.
Here's a chance to tie it up, and it goes just wide to the left. Lockhart with a great look. Man, that would have been a heck of an answer for a team that has struggled offensively.
What a goal that would have been. I think that was an intended pass. Looked like it was going to be across to the box. Looks like I believe it took a little bit of a deflection, almost put it in.
Man, oh man. Hilltoppers with their best chance right there of the game, and they almost made it count. Free kick for the Blue Raiders. Coming on to the near side here. Paquin directing traffic. It skips through, but a lucky skip. Now chasing it down is Aguiar. It goes out of play.
It is going to be a goal kick here. Thought for a second it might have been a corner.
Kick towards the sidelines here, looking for Abby Long. Goes out of play, and we will have Alexander throw it in. Booted down the field, played off the head, almost off the face, really, of Trinity Afonso. And Lemian comes out to make the play. And she'll send it again. Same direction that time. This time it was cut off, though.
We'll go to cut back.
Really good cut back and a good save by Hannah right there to force a corner kick. And really that started with Emma Rebello because she cut in front of Abby Long. And now we'll have the corner kick. Macy Paquin will do the honors. Sent straight up by Alexander towards the sidelines. Lockhart does not get there in time, although she was coming full steam ahead. Paquin cuts it off. Towards the net. Bouncer cut off there by Bailey Smith.
Yeah, should have let the keeper get it. Would have been a safer option. Should let Anusha grab it.
And we'll have a throw in for Somerset. Yeah, kind of surprised by that. Not normally the case. Normally you let the goalie take it.
Yeah, you can tell his backline's a little nervous now after letting up a goal. It's going to be a corner.
Now, that was one I thought it went out on the sidelines.
Yeah.
It looked just like before, you know. So another corner kick for the Blue Raiders. Defendable. Oh, off the toes. That's coming back towards the sidelines, and it'll be another throw in. Somerset really controlling pace of play in this side of the field here in the second half. Looks like they've definitely made some changes. I wouldn't say that Durfee's getting tired per se because both sides were evenly split in terms of how much defense they had to play, you know. I think it's probably Somerset having made some changes and some little adjustments here and there. Lockhart with a foot race to the ball, chasing it down with Abby Hines. Still fighting for it. Hines comes away with it and sends it back towards Holt, who will clear it out. And it goes rolling towards midfield.
Looks like the recent JV call-up, Felma Franco, is going to come in here for the Hilltoppers, making her varsity debut.
Yeah, Franco coming in number 2 for the Hilltoppers. She was in addition to our roster, like you said, a JV call-up here, and that's kind of what happens again when you're missing 3 starters. That can hurt for sure. Those 3 being Marissa Deluz, Jasmine Montega, and then Samantha Soares. All 3 out right now. Now the shot and the little bit of hesitation there. That is number 2 who just came in, Franco, just into the game and getting some touches there early.
We'll see where Coach D'Souza puts her in this formation. Looks like she's playing at a half forward, half midfield type of position.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job keeping the ball in this attacking half, though.
Hilltopper's going to have another throw in here. Yeah, Durfee electing to go here with basically having 3 forwards there, though. Again, trying to give some extra options, it appears, up the field in hopes that they can tie it up. Played down by Sullivan, sending it down the field now. Kept in and sent out of play.
It's going to be a corner. Be interesting here to see how they play this ball, if they go tight or if they go wide cross here.
Yeah, Somerset's had quite a few corner kicks in this second half. Gonna have another one here. They're gonna play it on the ground, and it's kicked back towards the 30. Shot on net, and it's going long and high and well out of play. And Trinity Afonso will kick it away for the Hilltoppers. Line drive kick cut off by Rebello. Centering to Aguiar. Aguiar trying to jar it loose. She does. Alemian comes in to make the scoop. Another solid kick. That one landing just shy of midfield. Headed towards Rebello. That one going wide and long. Somerset taking some shots here. Another corner kick.
Oh, we got a substitution here.
Yeah, last second as well. Coming back in is Jensen Riley, subbing in for Noguera. As they trade spots. That one goes out of play, and I think we're going to be looking at another corner kick.
Looks like it's going to be a corner. She just couldn't get it out in time for the try to get a throw in instead.
Right into the hands of Alemian on the fly. And she'll send it away. Bouncing in front of Lockhart. Headed by Hines away from Lockhart. and unable to keep it in was Misturado, and it'll be a throw-in for the Blue Raiders. The lights have come on here at Durfee. The sun's starting to go down. A couple days ago, we had our last sunset. It was at 6:01, which means now, from now till March, the sun will not set past 6 o'clock. That's a bummer. That is such a bummer. That means we're going to have sunsets before 6 o'clock from now till March. Yuck.
Go, go. Go, Charles. Everything you got.
All the way down the field. Will it stay in? No. Halfway through the second half here. Somerset up 1-0. Hilltoppers pressing a bit, but Somerset has really amped up the speed of play a little bit here in the second half. They have controlled much of it. The bulk of play has been over on Durfee's side of the field. And that defense now has got to be getting tired, having to defend and go back and forth. And another goal kick for Afonso. Kind of looking at the road ahead here for Durfee. 2 big games against Brockton on the schedule. Senior day, or senior night against Falmouth will be here. It's actually going to be a Saturday game. It is a trip. And then an away game at Cardinal Spellman. So really the games to focus on again for Durfee, we talked about it earlier in the first half, are the 2 Brockton games. That's the only way they're going to get in the tournament. And they got to win both. So it's kind of do or die time against Brockton. And a free kick from a really good spot here for the Blue Raiders. You see the Hilltoppers building that wall of players. They're going to go high. Comes to the near side. Rebello is there. Oh. No whistle that time. She's going to get back up and still be able to play it. Lockhart kicks it out of play. How about that? And a substitution now for the Blue Raiders as Alyssa Cheatham comes in. She actually was the player who got injured in the first half. She's coming in now. And she'll sub in for Isabel Charest as Rebello gets ready to throw in. She found Brooke Sullivan. Goes out, and another goal kick. Cut off there and now taken by Paquin. Shot on net wide to the right. And Afonso will kick it away again. Boy, she's been busy too.
Oh, yeah.
She's been wicked busy. Ooh, right off the head of Paquin. Headed by Sullivan. Now on the ground and rolling out of play on a bounce. And we'll have a throw in as Abigail Shea will throw in. Working that far sideline. Out of play it goes. And Bullier will throw in. That's a good strong throw in. It comes right back to her though. Weaving through traffic is Gajewski. Down the sidelines chasing it is Shea. Has it. Gets by one defender. Now a centering pass. Afonso will clear it out. but it will go out of play before Franco can get there.
Yeah, good movement by Somerset there. With the ball down in the corner, some good movement by Shea with the cutback and just a little bit better of a ball would have been very good for Somerset. A lot of their forwards in good position in the box. Durfee's got to tighten things up in the back line.
On the ground, right through the defense, but not very hard hit from Ribello. And Elemian scoops it and makes the play. Headed forward.
Nice, honey.
Pass to Lockhart. Jarred loose by Paquin. Back to the defense.
Great ball there.
Yeah, really good pass down the field. Played onside. Ball is in front. Elemian will just scoop it. Probably the right move there. Right in front of her teammate Bullier. And let your goalie punt it away again. Headed down by Paquin. Sullivan with a shot. And Elemian plays it again. This is what I'm talking about. You know, Somerset was not getting these shots in the first half. And they're getting great opportunities to take shots on net. The Hilltoppers have barely had any in the second half.
Oh, here we go. Big chance now right here. You got to capitalize on this.
Catherine Callahan almost scored in that first half. And that time had it taken away from her.
Abigail Long's going to come in, the right midfielder.
We'll see. I think Franco may be coming out. Yep. So they're swapping once again. Don't you hate? They must hate that as a player. Get to that far side, then we make the sub.
Yeah.
You gotta go the length of the field to get out of play. And it looks like an offside's being called on Somerset. That'll give Durfee a free kick close to midfield. I think that was Cheatham. Looks like number 10. It was, and she was called on the offside. So good field position for Afonso to send it down the field. Her kick's averaging about probably 35 yards or so. That's probably one of the best ones she's had. That one got off the ground a bit. You know, when it gets over your head and has a little bit of an arc to it, then it'll bounce and, you know, create more things happening versus a line drive that can just be hit off a bit, you know, stopped by your back, like, you know, like a barricade. Centering pass in front. Lofted by Callahan on the ground. Jensen Riley sends it the other way. And it's cleared away by the Blue Raiders. Cheatham. Nice break by Smith to slow her up and jar the ball loose. Twice now she's done it. What a job by Bailey Smith. Taking the ball away from two of the Blue Raiders in one fell swoop. Outstanding. Lockhart with a pass up the field looking for Misturado. Misturado fighting her way through. Fiona Lyons is going to go out of play.
Yeah, that sun's popped back up now for Anoush. She had a couple of minutes there of a clear view. Now her view's going to be obstructed again.
Well, she won't care. She doesn't even care if this one goes in. A corner kick for the Hilltoppers with just over 10 minutes to play here in the game. This would be something if the Hilltoppers can get a goal out of this and tie it up. That's a great kick as well. Look at Holt come out to swat it away. Came right through the pile. Afonso turns it around using her speed, and it's going to get kicked out of play. It will be Durfee ball, though. I think it went out off of Ribello. Might have also gone out off of Sullivan.
Let's see if they utilize the long throw in here with Alexander.
Yeah, she really gets some good flow. The ball just seems to float when it comes out of her hands. It doesn't die. It's really quite something. The same can be said when Danny Keys throws in for the boys. You know, he's got a little more strength. He's bigger than she is, but I mean, it just stays on a straight trajectory. It doesn't die, it doesn't rise, doesn't go down. It just seems like it just floats until someone touches it. And Alexander does a really nice job with the throw-ins as well. Now they're offsides. It's going to be another free kick for the Hilltoppers. And Afonso will do it again. That one, see that one being a little lower. You can play it off the foot or the back. Oh, almost rolled her ankle.
Oh my God! Are you kidding, buddy?
Wow, a free kick for Somerset, and it looked like it was Somerset who was committing the infractions, would you say?
Yeah, she initiated the contact there. Similar to football, when you initiate the contact, usually you're going to get the penalty.
Yeah, that's a bad call on the official here. That's our first bad call, and it's taken them almost the whole game. So I guess we could say it's been a good day for them, but that one right in front of us, and I am very surprised to see that.
That's a very nice ball over the top. Good defense.
Towards the sideline. Kept in. No, out of play it goes. Abigail Shea will throw in a little lobber towards Paquin. Now they're going to kick it back to her. Afonso doing a nice job there. She was able to bat the ball down with the foot. It's going to be a corner kick for Somerset. You know, I got to say, too, I'm kind of surprised that the balls that get used now, gone are the days of just, you know, the white ball with the black spots, the black hexagons. You got all these swirls. It's like a gray ball. You can barely see the ball.
Yeah, I
don't like it.
Ball. Oh, what a save.
Right place, right time, and it does end up going in. Alemian made the play the first time. The second chance effort, though, she couldn't corral it. And those rebounds will get you every time. Somerset makes it 2-0 here in the final 10 minutes. And I have to say, I did not see who ended up getting that one in. There were way too many bodies in front. Well, Blue Raiders with their second goal, and it comes with 8:32 to play in the game. That'll pretty much seal the victory right there for Somerset. Take any chance, I'd say, of the Hilltoppers coming back.
I believe it was Ashlyn Aguiar who scored, or maybe Brooke Sullivan for Somerset there.
Yeah, again, a lot of bodies right there in front. And I was focused on the ball because I thought Alemian had it, and then it bounced away. And by the time I looked up to see who was there were like 3 Blue Raiders all swinging their feet, swinging their legs. And I did not catch who actually got a foot on it. That one out of play. And Alexander will throw in again. Trying to turn it up the field here. That's Bullier, number 19. Good pass on the ground, but again, leading. You know, this is the passing to your point. Okay, good. So she found her teammate, but Mr. Otto not moving. You're not going to be able to catch up to that. You got to hit him in stride.
Yeah, it's the through ball. It's a big part of the game. You got to learn how to run into the ball.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of miscommunication there. Something they'll have to work on in practice.
Yeah, and we've seen that a few times today. So that, again, I think that's those offensive chances. Anytime the ball's up that way, if you get a free pass to someone who could break towards the net, that's where you got to be moving, and you got to hit your teammate.
That was almost a good example of right there. If she could just catch up to it.
You know, I think of like football. You know, you have, let's see Tom Brady, right, getting set to pass. And he's looking for Gronk. Well, if he's not going to hit Gronk if Gronk is standing there and then tries to catch up with the ball. You got to catch him in stride. It's the same thing, same concept here. And you're going to pass on the ground and try to get someone going towards the net. Well, you got to be hitting them while they're moving, and that person's got to be moving and be ready for it.
It's an attempted through ball there. That wasn't very successful.
Bouncer coming to grab it is Abigail Hines, and it'll be thrown in by Alexander. Taken by Rebello, sent towards the middle of the field. And right there is a prime example. That was a perfect pass. Shot on net, wide to the right, but that is textbook, exactly what you want to do and exactly what you and I, Justin, are trying to convey here.
Perfect ball. Just need a. I wouldn't have gone for the shot there. I probably would have tried to pass it across the box for one of those. There was two wide open Raiders ready to tap it in. Or if you're going to shoot, aim for the keeper, try to go for a rebound, as we already seen. Rebounds can be a bit of a weakness. But a hasty decision for the shot there.
Well, I guess when you're up 2-0, you can, try to just aim and fire a little bit, more so than if it was a scoreless game right now, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
You kind of have you can take a little bit of liberties and see what you can do. But that was just a phenomenal pass up the field to Paquin, who almost put it in for number 3 of the game for Somerset. 5 minutes to play. Durfee will throw in. Another good, strong throw in right off the head of Rebello. And I'd say off the head of Long, too. They were both there. Rachel Ochoa into the game. Number 9 fights through Afonso, bounces it off her feet. Now it's coming back this direction, right at the line. Oof. And it's going to go out of play. And another goal kick coming for Afonso.
Good play by Alfonso to shield the ball there. She tried to go for the elastical move there, Ochoa, but it was good defense. Stayed patient, kept with the ball.
Got ourselves a busy week here on Fred TV. This week of the 22nd here. Girls volleyball plays on Monday against Brockton. Boys soccer, night game 6 o'clock against Brockton here. Field hockey against New Bedford. Senior night here on Wednesday. More girls volleyball on Friday against Dartmouth. That's the season finale. That would be senior night for them. We're still waiting to hear about football, where football will be, whether it's Durfee or Diamond, who's playing where and when, if there are any home games. So there's a lot going on in the final week of the regular season before playoffs and tournament games begin. Alexander with the throw in again. This one more of a high arcing pass. Afonso plays it off the chest, gets through some traffic, finds Jensen Riley. Now
the through ball.
And Afonso sent it down the field. She's had some good looks here in the second half. She's tried to set it up a couple times with her forwards. And a free kick coming for the Hilltoppers.
Surprised not to see Noguera come back in here in these the last minutes of the game. Try to press more offensively down too. The game's not over yet. You still got the last 2 minutes here.
Clock is stopped. We're in the final 2 minutes of this afternoon's matchup between Somerset and Durfee, and Blue Raiders looking like they're going to grab victory number 10 of the season. And for the Hilltoppers, they'll rely on their 2 games against Brockton to determine their season, basically. Nice job by Paquin trying to get around everybody. And it'll be a throw in for Shea. Catherine Callahan gonna loft it towards the near side, looking for Abby Long. And the player down on the back side. On the far side of the field, I think. A little bit of a limp there. It could be Aguiar. Going to get helped off. We're going to end up seeing Isabel Charest come in.
Some late game cramping there.
Yeah, very possible. You know, especially with the cooler conditions.
It is going to be Aguiar coming off for Somerset.
Yeah. Kaden Morera helping her off. Looks like they're going to continue play here with the free kick.
Deep ball. They're going very deep. It's all out here.
Good kick from Afonso. Into the zone, a chance. Oh, lofted too high and over the net. Mr. Otto with a great opportunity there, just a little high.
That's a tough one there. That was a great ball from Alfonso, pierced right through that back line. But it's just like Coach D'Souza said, that finishing in that 6-yard box, that's one you can't skide over the bar like that in a late game down by 2. That's one you got to put in.
Yeah, and you know, maybe it's the feeling of desperation too. I mean, there was nobody around her. She could have set the ball. She had a teammate there too. Could have set it, right, and then maybe kicked it on the ground a bit instead of trying to play it on the bounce, as that whistle means the game is over. A 2-0 final score as the Somerset-Berkley Blue Raiders defeat the Hilltoppers here at McAldrich Field 2-0, and they pick up their 10th victory, Durfee's 13th loss. So it is indeed official that the Hilltoppers' season will come down to their Brockton matchups, and they have to sweep Brockton to get into the tournament. It's going to be a tall task.
Yeah, there was a very good effort today by the Hilltoppers. I was impressed by that back line for a good part of the game. That first half and a little bit of that second half, they did a very organized, very strong. But they broke down as the game went along. They scored the goal off the turnover, which that can really destroy the confidence. And you could see that confidence deteriorate. They were starting to, relax more, and Somerset started taking advantage. But overall, a very good effort by the Hilltoppers and by Somerset as well. They scored 2 good goals. You could definitely see the offensive power that they carry, the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, it was a good game overall. I think you're right. And I think the second half, Somerset definitely made some changes. They started playing a little more aggressively. A lot more shots on net than in the first half. And I think, to your point, I think that game after scoring, I think it kind of took the wind out of sail of Durfee's defense. And you're right. I don't know if we say maybe relax isn't the right term, but to just kind of knock that fight out of them a little bit, But the Hilltoppers with a decent performance as well. Again, it's just the offense. It's the offensive struggles. We've said it for a while. The defense has not played badly. 1 goal through 90% of the game. It's not a bad game. They allowed 2. That last one came in the final 10 minutes, but got to get the goals on offense. Got to be able to match your opponent if you're going to give up a goal.
Most definitely. But good job by both teams overall. It was a very good match, very entertaining to watch.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for girls soccer here on Fred TV. For Jake Fitzgerald and Justin Aruccio, I'm Evan Massoud saying so long from Durfee High School.